The fall of a tyrant. The hot October sun scorched the Libyan desert, casting long shadows over the chaos unfolding in Sirte. For 42 years, Muammar Gaddafi had ruled Libya with an iron fist, his name synonymous with both grandeur and brutality. His death, however, was not the dignified end of a man who once saw himself as Africa's king of kings. It was brutal, chaotic, and fueled by betrayal. The man and his kingdom Gaddafi rose to power in 1969 through a bloodless coup ousting King Idris I. He was young, charismatic, and idealistic, promising to unite the Arab world and liberate Africa from Western imperialism. Over the decades, his vision turned darker. His Green Book, a peculiar mix of socialism and tribalism, became the foundation of his rule. Critics disappeared, opposition was crushed, and oil wealth funded both his grandiose projects and his private coffers. By 2011, the Arab Spring had swept through North Africa and the Middle East, toppling regimes that seemed untouchable. In Tunisia and Egypt, long-standing leaders were forced to flee or resign. Libya, however, was different. Gaddafi declared he would fight to the last drop of blood. The storm of revolution. In February 2011, protests erupted in Benghazi, Libya's second-largest city. What began as peaceful demonstrations quickly turned into armed rebellion. Gaddafi's forces responded with unrelenting violence, prompting the United Nations to intervene. The NATO-led coalition, spearheaded by France, the UK, and the US, launched airstrikes to enforce a no-fly zone. The justification was humanitarian, to protect civilians. Yet beneath this facade lay a deeper motive. Gaddafi had made enemies in the West. His erratic behavior, financial support for terrorist groups, and threats to switch Libya's oil trade to a gold-backed currency had alienated powerful nations. The final days by October 2011, Gaddafi's regime was crumbling. Tripoli had fallen and the National Transitional Council, NTC, a loose coalition of rebels, controlled most of Libya. Gaddafi, however, refused to flee. He retreated to his hometown of Sirte, a coastal city under siege by rebel forces. The once grand leader now lived in hiding, moving between abandoned buildings and underground bunkers. His loyalists were dwindling and supplies were scarce. Still, Gaddafi remained defiant, broadcasting audio messages urging his followers to resist. The capture. On October 20, 2011, NATO drones spotted a convoy attempting to flee Sirte. French fighter jets struck the convoy, disabling several vehicles. Gaddafi, injured but alive, sought refuge in a drainage pipe with a handful of loyalists. It was here, in the filth and darkness, that the rebels found him. Misrata's militias, known for their ferocity, captured the fallen leader. Videos captured on shaky phones showed a bloodied Gaddafi being dragged from the pipe. "Don't shoot," he pleaded, a stark contrast to the man who once proclaimed himself the brother leader and guide of the revolution. But mercy was in short supply. Decades of oppression, torture, and massacres had left deep scars on Libya's people. The rebels beat him, taunted him, and paraded him through the streets. The exact details of his death remain murky. Some accounts suggest he was shot during a struggle, others claim he was executed on the spot.